Before we finish up, we need to look at a few of these tabs, of the most important ones here. So the first tab that is important is going to be this languages section. So you see that right now it has the alphabet. On that alphabet, I can change the alphabet and the groupings that I want to show in the app. If I go back to the BlueStacks here, when I'm here, that alphabet is what's showing up here. And these are the quick jumps that allow you to jump to that section in the dictionary. If they're not showing up, and if they're in capital letters, you need to make them lowercase letters. And I'll show you just something really handy here. So let me go into, I'm going to copy this, because you could sit here and copy them out, but if I open up Word, this is where you put the digraphs and the trigraphs that you've used in your dictionary to group your entries. So I have copied this out, and let's say that it's, let's say I copied it in all caps. If you select something and you do Shift F3, and it may be Shift Function F3 on your laptop, Word will uppercase and lowercase the text that you've selected. So if you need a lowercase copy of what you just had, then that's a way of doing it, and then you can copy back the lowercase version. But once you have given it lowercase letters, that will work. It's expecting lowercase letters. And if you want to change the order, you can change the order here. It should match what your dictionary was, how your dictionary was configured eventually, once you've dealt with the sorting in the dictionary. That's the languages tab, and you can configure for your reversals as well. Right now, I only have the English reversal turned on. And there is a sorting here where you can choose the sorting, and you can use the same rules that you used in Flex to do the sorting. Again, let's leave sorting aside for now. Now, it was odd to me when I installed this that I don't get the colors here. I would have expected that since the colors work in the entry, that the colors should be working in the lexicon view. And so it is possible to do that. So if we go into the Dictionary App Builder, first of all, if we go to this Imported Styles tab, these are all the styles that it has learned from Flex. There's a lot going on here. If you know cascading style sheets, it'll make a lot of sense. But there's a lot going on here, and hopefully if you can configure everything in Flex, you don't have to deal with these. Because it will just, when you import it, it will grab all of your styles from it. But the ones that we're going to mess with here are the ones on the user interface styles. So user interface styles, I wanted the English to be blue. So pull up my notes here. This is the important bit here. So there we go. If I want to change this, that's in the language, so that's in Assembly, and I'm on the Assembly tab. So for the lexicon tab, the lexicon head word, I'm looking for UI, list, item, title, and the language code. So that is here, here. And I just figured this out by trial and error and guessing yesterday to figure out where that went, where that is. And so if I wanted to restyle how the Assembly head word looks, I would change this, and I can double click on that, and I could choose another color. I could make it bigger, I could make it smaller. I could do whatever I want to configure that, that style. But what I really want to change is because I left the assembly in black, I want to change the English underneath and make that blue. So what I'm looking for is UI list item subtitle English. So that is here. So I'm going to click on this one, which is the last one in the English group. Double click, and I'm going to say that color equals blue. If you really want to use the HTML colors that you can, I'm just going to choose blue, and I'm going to click OK. And so now, when I export the dictionary the next time, this line will be blue. And probably on the English side, I want to make this blue so that it's obvious what language it's in. So to do that, pull up my notes again here. So the reversal head word on the reversal tab is UI list item title English. Again, this is stuff that needs to be documented. I just figured it out last night. But UI list item title English is here. And so I'm going to change that one and change the color, not the background color, to blue. So you're changing the colors in the browse view, yeah. Because if you were importing a dictionary in a different way, if you were importing through Lyft or whatever, you'd have to do all the configuration for that separately. But this lexicon view, the browse view, is generated by the app, and so it has to be styled differently. So the only thing I'm changing here is the color, but it's showing me that I've changed those. And so now, if I go build my app and reinstall my app, then I will get the lexicon in the colors that I was expecting, the browse view in the colors I was expecting. User interface actually includes everything except the entry view. So everything except for this area here. Flex determines this, but you can play with those styles and you can change this, you can change this, you can change these, you can change this, you can change this. Everything except for this square in the entry view is configured from somewhere inside this user interface styles area. So if I wanted to change the color of the bar, I could do that. If I wanted to change the color of, change the alphabet color, see that right here? I could actually make that alphabet be red so it's very obvious and somebody knows that they could click on it. So yeah, so by default, it uses the interface language of the phone. So if your phone is currently set to English, then when it installs it, it's going to use the English interface. If your phone is currently set to French, it's going to use the French interface for the app. But if you wanted to override it so that nobody could possibly use it in another language, then you could choose this, use this language, and you could force something. These are the languages that are available. If you needed another language, then you would have to work with them to get it added. But that should cover our use case just fine. So I'm going to recommend that you leave it here on English, but as I said, so if I go into my settings here in this app, settings, like this is like I was changing the language of my phone. So I'm going to go into settings here, settings, and I'm going to go to language and input, and I'm going to say the language is French. So there we go, Francais. Francais, France, that's fine. And I'm going to move French up to the top, and I go back. You just see that all the menus just moved into French in Android. And if I go back into the app, oh, it didn't change. It should have changed. I'm not sure why it didn't, but it may be an oddness about this. The fact that I'm using not a real phone and I'm using this. That's my understanding, that it should follow the language of the phone. I have rebuilt the app. Good. I was going to remove this and reinstall the new app. So that is here. It was created 3 minutes ago. That is the correct version. And when I go in here, I should, yes! The English is in blue and the language is in black. It's a little odd to me that this is bold and this is not, but that's something that can be configured. That's because Andika doesn't have a bold. That's it. So probably what we would want to do is go to the English title and unbold it. So if I go back in here and I go to styles and I'm in user interface and I go to English title, font weight is bold, so I say nothing, which is the same as normal. Okay, and then if I build it again, then all of it will be there. That's all the important stuff for knowing how to actually build an app.